Greetings, all. Welcome to Aquarian Diary. I'm your host, John Irving. It is August 9th, 2025. Hello, everyone. I don't normally talk a lot about smaller, let's say more run-of-the-mill type transits. If you've been following my channel, you know I like to focus more on the big picture stuff. But we have this really lovely transit coming up that is in effect probably when you're listening to this, and will be exact on Tuesday, August 12th, which is Venus conjunct Jupiter at 14 degrees of Cancer. Now, this happens about every 13 months or so it's not an earth-shattering thing. But when you get the two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, coming together, this is about as good as it gets. Everybody likes an abundance of pleasure, riches, rewards, even money sometimes. So this is an incredibly kind of indulgent, wonderful, beautiful energy, and we could all use a dose of that these days. So I want to give you a quick rundown of where this is happening, when this is happening, who it will benefit, and so on. I will be displaying quite a few graphics through the course of this, so you may want to pay attention to your screen if you're watching this on YouTube. First of all, I want to point out that Mercury will be going direct about 24 hours before Jupiter and Venus conjunct exactly. Mercury went retrograde on July 18th, and it will go direct on August 11th at 3:30 a.m. All of the times I am quoting here are Eastern Daylight Time in, for example, New York City or Toronto. Mercury will clear its retrograde shadow on August 25th. There's quite a bit more detail on your screen in terms of dates and times. So Venus will conjunct Jupiter at 14 degrees, 3 minutes and 44 seconds of Cancer. It will be exact on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Venus and Jupiter will be within a 2-degree orb as of just before midnight on August 9th. It will go beyond a 2-degree orb at just before 3 a.m. on August 14th. So we have this window from basically at the very end of August 9th to early in the morning on August 14th, where Jupiter and Venus will be in a very tight orb. The period when Venus and Jupiter are within very close range of each other is actually beyond that. But this window that I'm describing here is when these energies are very intensely conjunct. What does this all mean? Cancer is a very feminine, nurturing energy. It rules things like family, roots and foundations, our home and our home environment, where we live together, where we're raised, where our close family come together and are together. It is obviously critically important for human beings, ideally, to grow up in a very nurturing, caring, loving, and safe family and home environment, if possible. And this is that principle. I have to keep this fairly succinct. So when Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer, it can really expand and bring a lot of energy into Cancer and Cancer-related themes. Jupiter is usually pretty much all good things expanded. The only thing we have to watch out for with Jupiter is that we don't go overboard. There can be a tendency to over-exaggerate things, and then later on when the energies shift, we have to come back down to earth, kind of. So, for example, that could be overindulgence, overspending, just basically going overboard with things. But in my experience, as long as you're a bit grounded, it's usually good. Sometimes Jupiter can expand problem areas too, but I personally always look forward to positive Jupiter transits. Venus is also a feminine energy, but it deals with things like beauty and love and art and even wealth, because Venus likes beautiful, fine things. Venus ideally would like pleasure. It doesn't like confrontation or things like anger or resentment. It is always seeking peace and harmony, effectively. So again, it rules the arts, it rules love, and often it can relate to money in a prosperous way because Venus likes pleasure and beauty and indulgence. So when we get the energies of Jupiter and Venus together, Jupiter expands the energies of Venus. So this could manifest as love or joy or pleasure or money or happiness or indulgence. And beauty can take many forms. It can be the arts, it can be fashion and style, aesthetics, nature, fine food, dining, usually things that are quite refined artistically, like things that are done in good taste. Another thing to watch for is that this can make you quite lazy. Because Venus is all about pleasure and Jupiter expands that. We cannot feel like doing more Saturnian type things because we just want to relax and enjoy ourselves. The caveat here is just basically not to go overboard. Don't blow all your money on some expensive items or luxury goods or overindulgence, and you should be fine. This happens about every 13 months, roughly, so it's not a terribly uncommon thing. Who will benefit the most from this? Even if you're not a Cancer, you want to look and see if this conjunction is landing on any powerful or potent points in your natal chart. If Cancer is in your 7th house, this can be absolutely fantastic for meeting somebody special, a special romantic partner. If you're born around August 12th, this aspect of Jupiter conjunct Venus will be baked into your solar return chart for the next year. That is fantastic. That portends a year where you could find love, beauty, joy, and many pleasurable things. Fine things, nice things, good food, good art, good fashion, good clothing. Like I said, just don't blow all your money because it can be self-indulgent. So again, if you're born around August 12th, this is absolutely super. It depends on your own personal natal chart. Like, for example, if this is squaring or opposing or conjunct Saturn, that can weigh down upon this energy quite a bit. But that's probably not the case. It may be for some people, but probably not most people. So you have to look at your own natal chart to see what aspects this conjunction is making, what house it's occurring in. Each house will bring its different blessings, but this conjunction pretty much anywhere in your chart is going to be very nice. As you can see on the screen, this conjunction will be trining Scorpio and Pisces, especially if you have significant planets or points around 14 degrees of Scorpio or Pisces. This trine is absolutely fantastic. If you have significant planets or points at 14 degrees of Taurus or Virgo, this conjunction will be sextiling them. That's also really lovely. If you have key planets or points around 14 degrees of Capricorn, this conjunction will be opposing them or squaring them if you have key planets or points around 14 degrees of Aries or Libra. Now, these are both benefics, so even the squares and the opposition here don't typically show up negatively. You may be more inclined to excess or overindulgence with those energies, but it's generally still not a bad thing as long as you stay grounded. Just don't max out your credit card or go deep into debt for things that you don't really need. And also watch your waistline because we can be prone to overindulgence. The last conjunction of Venus and Jupiter was May 23rd of 2024 at 29 degrees of Taurus. The last time they conjuncted in Cancer was August 5th of 2002. That's quite a while ago. That was at 5 degrees of Cancer. The next conjunction in Cancer, interestingly, will be June 9th of 2026, a year from now, at 25 degrees, 47 minutes of Cancer, roughly. So Cancer gets 2 shots at this. That's pretty cool. The Sabian symbol for 14 to 15 degrees of Cancer is, in a sumptuous dining hall, guests relax after partaking of a huge banquet. That's lovely. It speaks to good times, good friends, and indulging in beautiful fine food and company. Isn't that wonderful? It suits this perfectly. As my astrology clients will know, I'm always encouraging people to focus on their shadow work as part of their spiritual practice. I can't emphasize enough how important this is. It not only affects this incarnation, it affects future incarnations too. And pretty much everybody has some kind of work that they should be doing. This aspect of Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer is an amazing time to be doing work around wounding or issues with the female archetype, the mother archetype, our family, our roots, the karma in our lineage, and there's usually lots of it. We tend to have a lot of karma with our close family members. Don't underestimate that. In terms of doing like compassionate, loving, healing, releasing, forgiveness kind of work, this is an awesome period to do that because there's an abundance of very positive energy available for those kinds of things. And this goes into past lives too, right? So keep your mind open, do your shadow work. If you know anything about Ho'oponopono, which I've recommended to a lot of people because of its beautiful simplicity and sincerity, amazing. And I'm getting really strong chills as I talk about this. So please use this time to work on healing your roots, your foundations, any traumas with the feminine principle. And remember, this isn't really about rationality or reductionism. This is more about feelings and emotions and being emotionally vulnerable. This is about yin, not yang. It is about receptivity and our intuitive impressions. So it needs to be addressed on that level. There's a lot of grace at your disposal right now. And I also did an episode recently on the rise of the divine feminine, and this certainly plays into those kinds of themes. I really hope this works out well for you. If your birthday is around now, this is absolutely phenomenal. So check out your chart. We will all benefit from this aspect in some way. I hope it brings you joy and love, happiness, abundance, prosperity, and good times. We could sure use some of that these days, couldn't we? For more detail, check the episode description for other episodes that are related or that I mentioned. And if you're interested in a reading with me, I'll put a link to that as well. Many sincere thanks to everyone who supports me, especially my YouTube members and astrology clients. Thank you very much. Take care, all the best, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.